During my NYC year, I was posted to serve in a school that has both the primary and secondary section. Now, I was deployed to that school and I was informed that I was going to be handling the primary section of the school. I was posted to, I think, primary one. I knew that I didn't want to stay in the primary section of the school because dealing with children is not my thing. So I was not too very happy about that. Then I found there was someone already teaching in that school, and I discussed with her that I'm going to request to be moved to the secondary section of the school. She told me, oh, that's not possible. Once you started teaching in the primary section, you will not be allowed to be moved to the secondary section. You have to stay in the primary section throughout your service here. No one will listen to you and all of that. And so I believed that, and I began to manage. I stayed in the primary section of the school, and I started managing myself there. I was not very happy. I was not feeling myself. I was not feeling like I was doing what I love or passing knowledge to the pupils as I would love to. And so I was just managing, barely coasting. And then some things happened, and I boldly walked up to the school management and I requested to be transferred to the secondary school section of the school. And believe you me when I tell you that there was no resistance at all. No resistance at all. They just said, oh, you want to be transferred to the secondary section of the school. Okay, so what will be your teaching subject? So you teach about agricultural economics. That's my problem. You can teach agricultural science, you can teach economics. We even need an economics teacher in the secondary school section of the school. So that's how I was just transferred without any stress, without any trouble at all. It was like they were waiting for me to make that demand. You see, many of us, you've been told, no, don't do it, nobody has done it before, no one can ever do that, you will not be allowed, you will not be tolerated, this is not allowed here and all of that. And that makes me to remember the daughters of Zelophehad in the Bible. In their own days, daughters do not have a say in when it comes to the sharing of their father's inheritance. But these people, their father had, I think, 6 daughters, and all of them were just daughters, no son. And so they walked boldly to the man of God, to Moses, and they asked that they wanted their own share of their father's inheritance. Since their father did not have any son, they were not content with having their father's inheritance shared to uncles or cousins and nephews. They boldly demanded to have their own share of their father's properties. And at the time they made that demand, nothing of such had been done in the land of Israel. The Bible said the man of God had to consult with God to ask about their request. I know what God told them. Grant them their request. There's nothing wrong with what they have asked for. Imagine that they have felt like, oh, no one has ever asked of this before. This is against the laws. You know, there are unspoken rules. Some things have been done over and over again that they become like unspoken rules. And no one is bold enough to challenge that status quo. Things that have been done again and again and it becomes like a status quo. This is how we do things over here. Over here, this is how we do things. This is how things have been done. And so everybody just coasts along. Everybody just follows the same pattern. This year, you should become audacious enough to break out of such patterns, to ask for what you want, to forget that others have asked and have been told no, to forget that many people have requested and they've been turned down. It's your turn, and your story might actually be different. So do not listen to people who tell you that no one has ever done this before, this is not possible, and just be audacious enough to make an attempt. And you might just find that your first attempt can actually become successful. In this year 2026, we need audacity, and that's what we are going to be using. See you in my next video. Bye.